Hello, this is Grandma Jan from Red Toad Art Studio, and today we are going to learn how to draw a teapot. The last few videos I've done, we drew a teacup from here, and I thought the next one should probably be drawing a teapot. And they have the instructions here, step by step, and on the next page, there's some examples. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know we're doing a series on this book, 50 Ways to Draw Your Beautiful Ordinary Life. And it gives simple ways to draw ordinary things. And as I said, we've done a teacup, and this week we're going to do a teapot to go with our teacup, obviously. And it's very simple. They have a page to draw one right here, but I'm putting these in my pretty little brown sketchbook, and I'm going to do one right here. So let's follow these steps. Start by drawing a generous circle. Now I can draw a circle, and I'm pretty comfortable with drawing circles, but if you're not, find a lid. Some kind of lid that is about the size you want. Now, we need a spout out here. Let's get this in the middle. We need a spout here, a handle here, and a little top on it. It's a knob on top. So we need to leave plenty of room. In fact, this should be about in the center of the page. And lightly trace your circle if you're using a circle. There you go. And what's the next instructions? Draw a base, a spout, and a lid. They jumped ahead about 3 steps, didn't they? Draw a base. So we want to draw a base about there. What does it say next? A spout. Now, this is just freehand drawing, but a spout can be about any shape you want it to be. Let's draw a little circle. And then come down and attach to the body. And it says, draw a lid. Now, to me, drawing this lid in here is the hardest part, to get it to fasten within the top the way we want it to look right. So we draw an oval in that area, and it has to be a little thicker. And we draw an extra line there, and we want to put a little knobby on the top, probably a small circle. About like that. And let's see what else. Choose to add a handle on the side or on the top. And I'm going to do one on the side. So let's start the handle about where that started to keep our pot balanced. It's almost like a teacup handle, only bigger. There we go. Now, I think I want to make this one to match our teacup. And our teacup had a line around the middle. Now, remember, a teapot, this teapot anyway, is round. So when we make any objects as decorations, as lines, as dots, as words, it has to go the same angle as the circle, this angle. So let's start one right here. Let's do the bottom of our line. So we're doing it as a curve, and then let's say our line goes right here. So it's a line. Anything you want to put on this, it goes with the curved line to show that it has volume. Otherwise, it'll look like it's just a flat drawing on the page. Okay, let's get our eraser. We want to erase this little line on our little circle up here. Now remember, on my paper, my funny paper, I have to use an art eraser. I thought about changing books, but then I wanted to finish in the book I started in, but this paper is really weird. And I may regret that before we're done with it, but because it's very hard to erase. All right, and I need to erase some lines through here. Let me solidify my lid lines. And we'll try to pick up some of these lines here. I'm actually squeezing my eraser to fit in these tiny spots. And it really just doesn't want to pick it up. Let me move this now. We've finished their instructions. Well, I'm going to have to try a different eraser. I'm going back to a regular eraser, and let's see if we can get this off of here. It may harm my paper. Be sure you check the paper in your sketchbooks before you start using them. And if possible, know what it's like before you buy it. And I have no idea how you're going to do that before you buy it, but maybe you can review it. Because if the paper's not good, it's really hard to work with. And I have one that has much better paper in it. And I wish I had used that one, but I didn't. And I do need to use this one up. I got some kitty cat fur in here. All right. And let's solidify some of our other lines. See really how easy that is to draw. And you could do all kinds of decorations. You could put flowers or words or anything you want on this. And this gives you a good pattern to follow. You could also ink this. Draw ink over the lines and then use crayons or paint or whatever color you want to color it in. All right, now this pencil that I'm using is an HB or number 2, your bright yellow orangish pencils that you always use in school. They have number 2 on them, and that equals this. And these are good pencils to sketch and draw with. But if you want to make things shaded or darker, you may need a different art pencil. It's a good idea to go with, approximately a 3B will work well. Here's a 3B. Think of B as meaning bold or darker. I want to make this little area here darker. And then I want to make my stripe darker. So I will color it in just like I'm using colored pencils or crayons. And that takes a little time and a little patience. But you know, we shouldn't always be in a hurry when we're doing our art. We should enjoy, if possible, the process. Although, to save time in this video, I will speed it up. Now get your blending stick and smooth this out with your blending stick. Kind of get rid of all the ragged lines you have in there. Remember, try not to get your fingers into this because it will turn your fingers gray and smudge your picture at the same time. Now, the longer you work at this, the smoother it will get. We won't go too long on our video, but you can work as long as you want to. And we could add a little bit of shadow lines just with our blending stick, because it has the lead on it already. Remember to make the shadows follow the direction of what you're shadowing. Mine is a circle, it's round, so we need to follow that. We'll get some more on it. There we go. Now, I wanted to darken the little knob on here. I think my pot has a dark knob. So let's smooth that down. And you can do anything you want from here. You can color it. You could use paint, crayons, colored pencils, chalk, whatever you like. Or you could continue shading with your pencil, or put decorations around the outside. Now, I've been in the mood to make a little kind of frame around this. Oh, let's not forget to set it on a table. I like to take my ruler for this, so my table is straight, and just draw some light table lines. And then you could decorate this tablecloth, put a window behind it, anything you want. This is your picture. Now, back to this. I wanted to put some kind of interesting framing around this, so I'm going to kind of draw around it. And then I'm going to draw around it again, make it, oh, that's not a half an inch, it's not a quarter an inch, it's what it is. And it even got a little thin there. Now, I'm going to make this stripedy. Why? I cannot tell you why. I just thought it would be fun to do. I think I've been collaging long enough that I just do weird things at the drop of a hat. So now I am going to color every other one of these little squares, rectangles, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to make them solid colored. I guess we can't say black and white because these are gray pencils. But you could do this in a different color. And you can be as picky about these as you wish. I'm breaking my rule and I'm getting my hand on my picture. Now, I am much happier with my drawing of this teapot than I am with my drawing of my teacup. I'm a grandma. I'm 70-some years of age, and I haven't been drawing for a while. I have Arthur in my fingers, and I can't even write very well. And when I drew the teacup, it wasn't very good. In fact, I'll show it to you if you haven't seen my other video. Oops, it got ruined. I did something in marker and it went through the page, but you can see my video. It really isn't very good. I show the steps, okay, but it's not very good. But I noticed when I was drawing this that I felt much more sure and my fingers were working better. So if you're an older person that has dropped your art because you got arthritis, try again. Don't be afraid of it. It may not be the best. It may not be what you used to do. But the more you do it, your fingers will loosen up, I hope. I'm hoping mine stay more loose so that I can have more control over what I'm drawing. And if you're a young person, remember, it takes a lot of practice to learn how to control these fingers and produce what your mind wants you to produce, but your fingers don't always do it, and it takes a lot of practice. So I wish you well in your art journey. It's like everything else. It is a journey. And as we get older, we lose some of our abilities, but it doesn't mean we need to stop art. I have gone to collage, which doesn't require quite the amount of finger agility and strength, and I love collage now. And going back to my art, I realize I've lost a lot of it, but not using it. So we should continue to use it if we can. Well, I am going to say bye-bye for now, and my next video will be using teapots as a theme for our collage. Have a great day. Bye-bye.